All right. Welcome to the M.A.D podcast, episode number 8. So we're just talking today. It's Friday afternoon, and we have completed 4 stages of our Make a Difference project. We have found our questions. We've done our research. We have our global goal focus level. We have our global goal focus. We've put our ideas together, and now we are going to be going home this weekend and into next week and next weekend, and we're going to be putting our plans into action. So we're just kind of gathered today as a great group of difference makers, and we're just going to share where we're at with our M.A.D project, what our ideas, how our plans going, what your action ideas, and we're also going to provide one another some feedback. Some people have hit some bumps as well. We're going to talk about those bumps and how we're going to see those as little hurdles that we can kind of use as a springboard to get over and continue our project. So who'd like to share first? Okay, you know what, Marie, we're going to pass by you just because you have shared. We're going to go to Chase, and then Chase, you can say who you're working with, and go from there. Go ahead.
Well, the global goal me and my partner Jackson chose was zero hunger, and our question was, how can we help our local homeless shelter? So we decided our idea was to go to buy ingredients for soup or something, put it in Tupperware and send it to them in case they don't have enough food for people. So our plan was to meet at the grocery store on next Tuesday,
okay,
at 4:30. Buy all our ingredients, buy some Tupperware containers, and buy a Bristol board so we can have everything done. And then we'll go home and hopefully make it. We'll deliver it on Wednesday, and on Friday we'll work on the poster board. And we'll bring it in on Monday.
Sounds like you have a really good plan to put your Make a Difference idea into action. Here's the question. Have you ran this by your parents?
Yes.
And?
They're okay with it.
Who's going to cook the soup with you? Your mom or your dad?
Probably both.
Okay. I think that's a great idea. Any questions or feedback for Chase? Or any possible problems? Jackson, you're the partner.
My dad's working until 5. Entirely. So I can't come.
Really? Well, what about your mom?
Lives on the other side of town.
This is the inside.
Then you're gonna come to my house with your ingredients.
This is the inside look, my dudes.
You're gonna come to my house with the ingredients, and we'll just make a bigger batch.
Don't you have older brothers? Don't you have older brothers?
What?
Don't you have older brothers?
No, they're
I'm
the
the oldest child in my family.
Okay.
Older brothers.
Staying with you. I did it myself.
Well, then you should tell your dad that you're gonna walk home with me on Tuesday. We'll go there, get everything. We'll drop you off back at your house, and
I
I'll
have
make
brothers. I have to walk home.
Okay, then you're gonna walk them home and come to my house.
Okay, listen. So these,
No, bring them with you.
as you guys and girls are working on your plans, these are the kind of conversations that you should be having as well. And I know when you go home today with your notes, you'll be talking to your parents, and you're going to make sure that, because we're kind of leveraging your parents as partners in this M.A.D project as well. So it's really important to have those conversations with your parents. So, right now you all have great ideas, but it's a matter of having a really solid plan so you can put the plan into action. Okay, so it sounds like you guys have a great idea. You have a plan in place, but now you need to make sure you do the work to ensure the plan is carried out. Thanks, Chase, for sharing. Okay, let's go to Daphne.
So me and my partner Evan, we chose the Global Goal Quality Education, and our plan is to collect books because in our school we used to have a little bookshelf where kids would be able to get a book and for free. And we don't have that anymore, so we want to bring it back. So we want kids to be able to get a book because some kids can't get books. So we were hoping that some kids will be able to get a book for free. They can bring it home, or they can bring it back if they want to, but they can give a book, or they can take a book.
Okay. Have you talked to your parents about this?
Yes.
And where are the books going to come from?
Well, we were thinking that we could. Well, I have like this giant bookshelf in my basement, and nobody reads any of the books down there. They're from like my old like baby books to like chapter books to like adult books. So I was thinking that I could bring like some like chapter books and then like some like I don't even like Franklin or something, and then Daphne could do the same. And then if we still don't have enough, then we can like. Well, I was thinking that I could like ask my parents if like they could like ask like their coworkers and like put something on like Facebook to see if other people have any books that they don't need anymore.
Okay. Sounds like, again, a fantastic idea. Sounds like you have a couple of things you still need to figure out. And here's my question. We know that we once had a little bookcase in the front of our school, and it went away, right? It stopped existing. You're going to hopefully create that again, which I think is a great idea. Obviously, I know you need to talk to our principal about that as well. But then when you leave in grade 6, how might you continue this? Just a question for you.
We could, I don't know, like that's something that we'll have to talk about because like we have our plan, but we, like you said, we have to ask our principal, and then maybe we can ask like maybe like a grade 5 or something, if they could run it next year, and then like they can ask a grade 5, and then it can keep going. But one thing that I'm kind of, I guess not scared of, but like, I mean, yeah, almost, is like what happens if it's the same as it was before, and what ends up happening is it's like really awesome for a few weeks, and then it kind of ends up going away, and then how, like, then what's going to happen. So I think that those are some things that like are also like bumps in the road that we have to be aware that could possibly happen.
Yeah, and you know what happened before, but now how are you going to take an idea that was good, bring it back, and make it better? And I love that you're passionate about that, and I'm pretty confident that you're going to make a difference, not only for the kids this year, but in possibly many years to come. All right, thank you, girls. Chase, did you have a question? Or?
I had a suggestion. If you can't get enough books, you should go to the Salvation Army, and because there might be like donations of books, so you can get like a decent amount of books for pretty cheap if you don't have enough.
And there's also like at Value Village, there's like rows on rows on rows of books, and there's like so many, and they're like $1 each book, and it's crazy.
And there's sales where you can get 2 for 50 cents.
Yeah,
There's like sales all the time, and also I've been like, we can donate books too.
Yeah,
we can
help you.
I have a million
like,
books.
I think that like everybody has books that they don't read. Yep. And after a while, they just kind of end up like getting dusty on a shelf. So I think that instead of just leaving them there, you can make something that's old into something that's new and even better. Like make a child happy.
Love it. Yeah, it's great. Okay, Mitch.
Um.
Nice and loud though, eh, Mitch? Because you're...
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is Life Below Water with my partners Tristan and Gunnar. And what we're trying to prevent is less garbage in our waterways. So what we're doing is we're going to go to like a place that has like some garbage in it and pick it up and put it in a garbage bag. And we were gonna see if our moms can post stuff on like social media so people can come down and help us. So we were just thinking on doing that, and when we're done with like the picking up the garbage, we can just put it in our like in where our garbage goes every day for garbage day, and we can just let them take the garbage, and we can keep it like going.
And the fact is too, like, we know the global goal, and life below water. We live on Lake Superior. It's a pretty clean, fresh lake, but there's still problems with pollution, even in Thunder Bay. In our waterways, we know that pollution is a big problem in some countries in the world, particularly third world countries that don't have the same sanitation that we do. But you're making a difference again at the local level. And by you doing that and you sharing what you're doing, think of the impact that could have, because you're one person who's setting an example for other people. And by sharing on social media, those are great stories that can get shared and inspire other kids to make a difference. So I like that. Thank you. Let's go over here. I'm going to just switch gears to the other side of the classroom, and then I'll come back to this side. Ocean, you ready? Mind sharing? Okay. How about Sasha and Patricia? Because you guys had you looked like you were struggling there for a little bit, and then I sat down and had a conversation with you yesterday, and you went home beaming. So what's going on, girls?
All right, so me and my partner Patricia, and my partner Jordan as well, we're doing our global goal is quality education. We had some bumps along, and we were thinking of our level. We were thinking we could change the world, but then we're like, it could be possible, then it could be like unlikely. So then we were thinking about some more ideas, and we were thinking we could, but then there also be a couple of fails in that. So then when we got a little bit of help from Mr. C, we're also thinking that me, Trisha, and Jordan could get some books that we don't read anymore, like challenge books. We could bring them in, write a little message at the back of the book, and go to the JKSK class and give them away. And if they ask why we're giving away the books and why, what is quality education, we'll tell them why. It'll say at the back of the book, and we'll explain why it's so important.
And then it just comes down to a matter of you girls getting 25 books. We know that globally there's some kids that can't even go to school. Okay, actually millions of kids that don't go to school on a daily basis. They don't have that same access to education that we have.
But on our research,
yep.
When we and Patricia were researching, we were talking a bit, and then me and her agreed that it's just like poverty, like how people can't afford homes, food, and for quality education, people can't even afford to go to school. So we're thinking that is a matter of fact that they're both kind of the same.
Absolutely. And usually that kind of goes hand in hand. When you don't have money, you don't have schooling, and we know there's also a lot of kids who are impoverished that are also very hungry. We're lucky, but we also know that there's some kids who don't have the gift of too many books, So the idea of you girls bringing one book to the JKs and showing the importance of reading, I think is a fantastic idea. I think we also mentioned too that maybe our class would offer to read those books to the JKs before they went home too, right? Okay. Feedback, questions? Okay, let's go to Ocean, just because I'm on this side, and then maybe Robbie and Troy. Thanks, guys, for being such good and patient listeners.
Okay, so me and my partner Ty, our question was, how can we help the animals get adopted and how can we help wildlife? And our idea is, and we're also doing Life on Land. That was our global goal. And our idea is we want to put up posters for people to get inspired to help wildlife and to adopt a pet so they can have a brand new home and be happy.
And do you have the posters made?
We have one.
You have
but
one.
I messed up one of the photos.
Okay. And are you hand drawing the posters?
Well, me and Ty, we have paper and we're gonna draw what the poster, what we want the posters to look like, and then we're gonna print them out on the computer.
Okay, fantastic. And have you talked to your parents about it?
We've talked to our parents about it, except we don't know exactly what day we want to do it on because I go back and forth with my parents, so we have to figure out a proper day and a good time.
Okay, but the fact that you have the idea, making a difference for animals and encouraging people to adopt a pet if they're able to adopt a pet instead of even just going and buying a purebred dog, I think is a really good initiative. You're kind of focusing now more on the animals that can't speak for themselves. Yeah, and just to remind kind of the people who are listening, because we know there's many people who do listen to our podcast, believe it or not. The idea is that once the kids put their plans into action, they're going to be sharing and celebrating kind of science fair style at our M.A.D fair, our Make a Difference fair, in a week and a half. So we're just talking about how we're going to be getting ready for that. Okay, Robbie and Troy, right?
So what me and Troy had in mind is that our global goal was climate action and we were trying to help stop pollution. So we thought at first that we could help stop pollution by informing people that pollution is bad and climate change is very bad and it could end our world at some point if it gets very bad. So we thought that we could go around our neighborhoods and go along the street line and the sidewalk and pick up garbage 2 or 3 days a week. And we would either meet each other up at like a park or something and then discuss there, or at another time we could also go around informing people about stuff and if they want to help and how they could do so.
Yeah, I particularly like your first idea of cleaning up around your neighborhood. Just a couple of things that you might want to keep in mind. You want to have some gloves, some rubber gloves, and some garbage bags. And you want to have an idea as to time. And remember, you said 2 or 3 days a week, but sometimes it just simply starts with 1 day and 1 hour and then going from there. And I know me personally, I don't wait just for a day to make a difference when it comes to pollution. When I'm hiking with Kai and Mrs. Cameron and I see a granola bar wrapper or a pop bottle or a coffee mug, I'll actually pick it up and put it in my pack. And you know what? Yeah, it's a small little thing, but those things add up and make a difference. And I also know in doing that, I'm also modeling to Kai, something that he might do in the future too. So thank you for sharing. I look forward to hearing how it goes. The other thing that I'm thinking about, boys and girls, when you're putting your M.A.D plans into action, please make sure that you're taking a few photos, okay? When you have your Make a Difference fair, when you're creating your bulletin boards or your Bristol boards, pictures are really important to have. It really helps to make bring your ideas, your great ideas, to life. Okay, Maria, then Jack, then Mitch, and then Alex, and I think we're done. Oh no, and Raven. So we have 5 more. You guys have been great and patient.
Okay, so me and Katie had this. So our global goal is gender equality. And so our focus level is going to be community. So what we were planning on doing, or our question is, how can I ensure people are treated equally regardless of gender? So our idea was to make bookmarks for the city, to put like a message on the back to treat people equally, and then it's going to say on the front equal or equality, with the 2 gender signs, like the man and woman sign. And so we were going to hand those out to people, and it was going to have our message on it, and hopefully we were just going to kind of spread the message that way. And hopefully it will spread. Hopefully that it might carry on to maybe other cities if someone's traveling. And so it was just going to, because there's not much that we can do with gender equality, especially us kids. And so we were going to try and do that, spread the message that way, and hopefully it will work.
But I would argue that it's kids who will make a difference. You can do a lot when it comes to gender equality or any of the global goals. So really, really neat idea. I like the fact that you're putting something into someone's hands that they'll see often too if they're using a bookmark.
Like, because the world is like everyone reads, right? And so hopefully we're gonna make around 100, hand them out or give some to the library too. So if someone checks out a new book, maybe they'll get like a bookmark too, stuff like that, and keep some for the M.A.D fair to hand those out.
And I also suggested too, again, if you think about social media and how that could be used, you share something like this on social media.
Share the bookmark. Like if we take a bookmark and say, show the picture of it, then that could also spread, right?
Absolutely. And I just saw, it looked like Avonlea had a bit of an aha or a light bulb. What's going on, Avonlea? Nice and loud.
Well,
come on up a little bit.
They could get the book, and then they can come to the bookshelf and get a book.
Yeah, like we could save some, because like we're making like 100 bookmarks. So totally, if you guys get your bookshelf, I could totally put some there. Me and Katie could keep some there because we're making like 100, right? 104 or something.
And then books as well. Sasha's group, Sasha and Patricia, we know that we're giving 25 books, or the girls are giving 25 books to the kindergartens. What if we provided a bookmark with each of the books?
Good, because we were going to give 26 to the library. Because Mr. Harris, we were actually going to give 26 to the library, 26 for our M.A.D fair, and then we were each going to hand out 26. But we didn't think we needed that much.
Okay.
So we're still trying to think of where can we bring it.
And obviously, some really, really thought out ideas. Okay. I love it. And I love the enthusiasm and the passion that you guys are. We did a Make a Difference project as a class at the shelter house, but now, that was, we all did that together as a group. Now you boys and girls are putting your ideas into action. I love it. Mitch?
All right, like you said, it's like
Nice and loud, Mitch.
Okay. I have 2 things. What about what you said about the garbage? Even if you don't even pick that piece of garbage up, it can literally affect the whole world. Say like you find like a pop can or like a plastic bottle just sitting there. If you don't even pick that up, you could probably be the cause of pollution if you don't pick it up or like.
Well, you're not the cause of the pollution.
Cause, like, if you didn't pick it up, you would add more pollution to the world.
Yeah, and I guess you don't necessarily need to be the cause of pollution, right? And hopefully most of us aren't the cause of pollution. We all are in some way or another, but you can be also part of the solution, I think, which is important to say. Daphne?
Also about Mitchell's, those like the things that hold like miniature pop cans, those like plastic things that hold them. Like there's like I see movies and pictures or stuff about like
birds that get their heads stuck in there, like baby birds or
Penguins?
turtles.
There's
And that's one small thing. And if you put that on the ground, like that's one thing that could affect like animals.
You know what drives me crazy? And I think I need to actually do a Make a Difference project next year on this, or maybe I shouldn't even be waiting till next year. But I don't understand how people think that throwing a cigarette butt out the window isn't pollution.
You can
also, if it's not put out properly, it can start a little fire.
But
that's what happened on a bridge.
Just one little cigarette butt. What is it gonna do?
What is the harm? It is the worst.
And even smoking makes smoke that goes up into the air and starts polluting more.
Even cars, Mr. C. Cars can pollute the earth.
Sasha?
like you said, you don't understand how a cigarette is not pollution. Well, it is because even though people don't realize that it could harm the earth, it could just because it could harm us doesn't mean like it could harm us, the earth, like everything. And people don't realize that. They'll just be like, oh, well, if you smoke, it's fine. Then if you throw a cigarette butt out the window, oh, that's fine. It won't do anything. Even if, my dad and I were talking about pollution and all that, and then he's like, just because people think that if you do it to yourself, like if you smoke and it does something. If you throw like cigarettes on the ground, if it's all over. I went to the store and all I saw around the store was full of cigarette butts. Yeah. And then I was thinking to my dad, I know it's dirty or anything. I was thinking I could go home, grab gloves, pick all of them up and throw them in my garbage, because even if I'm already making a difference for quality education, I could also make a difference for people that smoke as well, and pollution.
Well, and now you have a MAD mindset, is what I like to call it. You have a make a difference mindset, and that's what we need. That's what our future needs is kids and adults who are going to make a difference, to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. So, yeah, you're doing this Make a Difference project, but look at the conversations that we're having as well. You're interested in making and contributing to making our world a better place, and I love it. I'm getting goosebumps. Ocean.
I agree with Sasha with taking up all the garbage or the cigarettes off the ground, but when she throws them in the garbage, all that garbage goes into our oceans and our waters. So she might be making a difference for like above, like on the ground,
but then not,
but not under the water.
That's what I was thinking in my head too.
So,
it's like, should I, or like, I don't want to keep them all. It's like,
No, I know, but I'm saying like
that's what's confusing. Like if you throw it away, but then it goes into the ocean, like either above water or underwater.
Jordan, go ahead.
maybe that's
One thing that you could do is have the garbage and at least put it like outside or something, but not like throw it into the ocean and all that kind of stuff. They should just put it like under your stairs or anything, but like just keep a watch on it if like anything comes at it or something.
But then you're also polluting but you're also putting the garbage anywhere else.
But it's
If
not
it's-
gonna be like
Okay. Do you boys and girls know where in Thunder Bay, because you're right, in some countries and some cities, there isn't the solution that we have, which isn't a perfect solution. That's why we try to recycle as much as possible. And in many countries, when I was in Ecuador and I was paddling down a river on a river rafting tour, there was a crazy amount of garbage in the river because they didn't have anywhere else to throw their trash, so it ended up in the river. But in Thunder Bay, what happens to our garbage when it's picked up by the sanitation workers? Avonlea?
It goes to, it goes to like the landfill.
Yeah, so it goes to the landfill. And the landfill, we're lucky. We live in Canada. We live in Thunder Bay. There's a lot of land, right? So they've created a landfill site. So they go and dump that. It gets buried. And really what happens is that what's created is a large hill of garbage. But on top of that, things can grow. So that's why we have landfill. And I think when you're talking about, Sasha, picking up the cigarette butts, now, yeah, obviously there's health and safety concerns there too, but the fact that you're thinking about it is beautiful. Picking up the cigarette butts, throwing them in the garbage, and then ensuring that they go to landfill it does much more than to simply leave them on the ground. Or at the very least, we're having this conversation right now. It floors me. I can be driving home and I can watch at any stop sign 3 or 4 people just flick their cigarette butt out the window. I don't understand how people don't think that's littering, and why can't they just put it in their ashtray? So, okay, let's hear from Jack. You guys have been, for a Friday afternoon, look at this conversation. You guys are unbelievable. Okay, Jack and Jack's group.
All right, so our idea is we are going to get teddy bears from home. And by the way, this is called Project Cuddles. We're going to get the teddy bears from home, and we are going to bring them to our local Thunder Bay Science Center. No, not Science Center. Oh my gosh.
Health Sciences Center.
The Regional Health Science Center.
Which is our hospital.
Yeah, and we're gonna go into the pediatrics department and make sure each kid gets a teddy bear. Our minimum that we each get some from like our siblings, and we're each gonna at least donate 2. And yeah, we're gonna bring them over. So, and Max, if you want to say our plan.
What is
What's our plan? What's your plan, Max?
Well, what we're thinking is next weekend, because this weekend I'm not really available. So we're thinking because Saturday, yes, May 12th, 2018. We're thinking that because my mom has Kaya's mom's number and Jack's, so we still haven't figured out the part where we're gonna meet or anything like that. But yes, we have.
Okay, and again, you're focused on health and well-being, right? And again, you're concerned about the health, but more, I think, important, particularly the well-being of kids who are going into the hospital. And this really kind of struck me as, what did you like? I thought, you know what, a kid's going to bring a teddy bear with them anyway.
We think that just to give them, we're all doing this just to give them hope, that just to feel better, and it's not really doing anything for them, but it's just the thought that counts. And then, yeah.
What do you guys think about that statement, Jack? It's not really doing anything for them.
No, it's doing
I like
something.
it.
It's doing something. It's giving them hope.
I have an
Carrie,
Mr. Cameron.
What if Carrie? I sent hope over to Africa, but they're still hungry.
No, what would you do?
I said, okay, like, seriously? It doesn't need to be, you don't need to, like, actually do something.
I think he just chose poor. I think that was just bad word choosing. I think he has a good plan. It's just he chose the wrong words to explain that.
No, I said giving them hope is amazing. Okay, so say I'm in the hospital. You give me a teddy bear. Do you know how much that's going to make me feel? That's going to make me feel so happy that someone believes that I can get better.
Exactly. I said it's the thought that counts.
Because, like you said to me the other day when you were telling us your plan, kids don't have a chance to just say, "Okay, we're going to the hospital. Pack up everything you need."
Yeah,
To
and
give them a
that's
teddy bear. Perfect.
well, some kids know they're going to hospital. If they're going to get their tonsils out, they know they're going to hospital. They might pack a teddy bear, but it's the kids that end up in the hospital that's unplanned. Those are the ones that I think you're thinking about too.
Yeah, if there's just like an automatic seizure, you're not gonna
Seizure?
have a
They have like
seizure.
some seizure.
I said that.
Oh my
Seizure.
god.
Okay, Raven. Come on up a little bit there, Raven. Just for our listening audience, there are 21 kids sitting with me. So just keep in mind, it is Friday afternoon, and it's amazing how engaged they are by such a cool project. All right, Raven.
My plan is, well, we don't really have a plan right now, but we have an idea. Our idea is that we are gonna make some cookies and donuts, and we are gonna bring them to our parents' work, and we're gonna sell them, and we're gonna raise up money for animals who are like underwater, and like animals that are also in like homes that like they get mistreated. So we're gonna bring it to the WWF Foundation, which is an animal place where they help animals that are in like polluted water and stuff like that. So we're gonna raise enough money for that. We're gonna see how much money we raise, and if we don't raise enough money, we are gonna keep on trying until we get enough money to help the animals.
What's your goal?
Our goal, well, it's just our goal is trying to help the animals and trying to raise enough money so all the animals can like not be in a non-natural habitat.
Yeah, okay, for sure, I get that. What are you thinking? And I think it's a fantastic idea, thinking about animals, life below water. WWF is more of a global initiative, which it's an NGO, so non-governmental organization. Do you have a goal as to how much money you would like to raise?
Well, I think how much the amount that you're supposed to get is around $1,000.
Oh, that's a
That's a lot.
that's a lot of cookies and donuts.
Like
Yeah,
that's
But like for my mom, she works at Harley Davidson, and there's people who come in from out of town, like from like all across the world.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking if my mom could help me raise enough money, then maybe we would have a chance. Or if we end up raising like around $100, it would be even better.
Every dollar
Penny.
makes a difference. And the fact that you're doing this and the fact that you're making kids aware of this is going to make a difference too, right? It's a two-part project, really. It's an awareness project, making all of the students in our school aware of the global issue, but then it's also an action part where you're taking action to make a difference. So I think it's a great idea. Avonlea?
And I had an idea for like the people who are doing like the life below water. As like when you're doing whatever you're doing, you can also encourage people to buy like glass straws and like reusable water bottles. Because my family we went to David's Tea and we got like these like tea straws, and you just hand wash them and you can like reuse them over and over again, and they're way better than using like a plastic straw. And actually, when me and my mom went to Starbucks, she brought her reusable straw, and then she asked for her drink without a straw. And so then instead of using a straw, she used reusable one. So then whenever we go now, if we're like planning on going somewhere where we're gonna like go down to eat or something, then we like bring the straws, because then it's like then you're not putting the straws in the landfills and possibly in the ocean, and you're actually like doing something that's really making a difference. So like you can tell, like you can make people aware.
Yeah, and these are small things that you think don't really make a difference, but then one person takes a step to do something, it becomes a snowball. Okay, and other people follow, and this is what it's all about. And the fact I never had conversations like this in a classroom in grade 5 and 6. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, Tanner. I was expecting 15. Tanner, did you want to share where you're at? You're not going to share, Alex? Okay.
Mad Fair 2018. Stay tuned.
All right, should we do an outro? And maybe a happy Friday, and then we're going to go outside and chill.
May the fourth be with you.
Yeah, may the fourth be with you.
I had to say it, Mr. Cameron. I had to say it.
And 3, 2, 1. Ba-na-na-na-na-na, ba-na-na-na-na-na, ba-na-na-na-na-na.
It's a wrap.
That was